In the morning when I rise, give me Jesus.
Good morning. Today we're in Deuteronomy chapters 11 through 15, and it's a great section of scripture because it shows us the distinction between following God and following an idol, having our hope any place but in God. Look at chapter 11. I'll start in verse 26. See, I am setting before you today a blessing and a curse. The blessing, if you listen to the commandments of the Lord your God, which I am commanding you today, and the curse, if you do not listen to the commandments of the Lord your God, by turning aside from the way which I am commanding you today. Now, are you listening? Here's how you do it: by following other gods which you have not known. Okay, what's your God? Where have you put your hope? Is your hope in the one and only true God, or is your hope in something else? Some idol, some other God? I don't know. Is it your bank account? Maybe your career? Maybe your fame? I don't know where you've put your hope. But if it's in anything but God, you're choosing a curse. You're choosing death. You're not choosing life. Because God says, if you choose me, if you hold fast to me, if you walk with me, then you'll rejoice. I want you rejoicing. Oh, there's so much in this chapter where he talks about go to the place where I designate and there celebrate, party before the Lord. Oh, he wants you rejoicing. Look at chapter 12, verse 7. There also you and your whole household shall eat before the Lord your God and rejoice in all your undertakings in which the Lord your God has blessed you. Oh, he wants you coming to the place that he designates, and before him celebrate and rejoice. Verse 12, you shall rejoice before the Lord your God, you and your sons and daughters, your male and female servants, and the Levite who is within your gates, since he has no portion or inheritance with you. Oh, you go to the place where the Levite is, and you sacrifice before the Lord, and then you feast before the Lord and celebrate what he has done for you. Now I want to give you a teaching that you may never hear from the pulpit. It's in chapter 14. Starts in verse 22. You shall surely tithe all the produce from what you sow, which comes out of the field every year. Oh, you'll hear the preacher talk about tithing, how it is something that God has commanded, and if you don't do it, God's not pleased with you. You'll hear all kinds of guilt put on tithing. But I want to show you what tithing was to God. Verse 23, you shall eat in the presence of the Lord your God at the place where he chooses to establish his name, the tithe of your grain, your new wine, your oil, and the firstborn of your herd and of your flock, so that you may learn to fear the Lord, be in awe of the Lord your God always. He wants you coming before him with your tithe and celebrating before him, eating the feast of your tithe. The tithe is for you to see the goodness of God. The tithe is your contribution to the party before the Lord. Well, let's go on and read the rest of this so that it'll confirm what I just told you, because there aren't many religious people that see the tithe in that way. Verse 24, if the distance is so great for you that you are not able to bring the tithe, since the place where the Lord your God chooses to set his name is too far away from you when the Lord your God blesses you, then you shall exchange it for money, and bind the money in your hands, and go to the place which the Lord your God chooses. You may spend the money for whatever your heart desires. Did you hear that? For oxen or sheep. Now are you listening? Or wine or strong drink, or whatever your heart desires. And there you shall eat in the presence of the Lord your God and rejoice, you and your household. Oh, don't neglect the Levite who is in your town, for he has no portion or inheritance among you. Come, join with the Levite, the priest on your behalf, Celebrate before the Lord, even with wine and strong drink. I want you full of joy when you're before me. I want you to see that I'm a good God. I want you to see that I love you and I'm for you and I rescued you from the nation of Egypt. You were slaves, you were captives, and I set you free. It's the same for us. Celebrate before the Lord. The Lord loves a cheerful giver. Behold the cheerfulness of God. Behold a happy God. And we'll talk some more tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're in chapters 16 through 21. Look forward to being with you. God bless you.
Jesus. Give me Jesus.